Selamat datang ke Bola Itu Live, Faiz. Episod yang dinanti-nantikan telah pun kembali. Setiap minggu orang duk DM kita tanya, di manakah
kad laporan
kad
kita.
laporan?
Hari ini kita tak mau bagi grade kita tu secara sendirilah.
Yes.
Sebenarnya kita bagi berdua saja.
Yes, yeah.
Tapi kita ada insider untuk memberikan grade sama-sama sekali dengan kita untuk kad laporan pada minggu ini. Kad laporan Harimau Malaya. Siapakah beliau, Kish?
Kita bersama dengan Ketua Jurulatih Skuad Kebangsaan, Mr. Peter Cklamovski, yang kembali bersama dengan Bola Itu Live. Kali ini, Coach Peter, thank you so much.
Sebelum itu,
Yes,
dia kembali
before that.
kerana dia merindui kita sebenarnya di Bola Itu Live. No, I was just telling them because you wanted to come here and explain about your the recent international break, Coach. We are honoured to have you here.
And great to be here. Thanks for having me, and look forward to discussing some football.
Thank you very much.
Coach, I mean, the last time we spoke, which was, I think, about 4 months ago, it was way before the game against Vietnam. I think the highlight of that episode was you quizzing us about our statistics, our head-to-head record against Vietnam. And in the build-up to that, there was all this anticipation, excitement. But now, Coach, after that interview, we went into the June camp, drew one game against Cape Verde, who, by the way, are on the verge of qualifying for the World Cup. By the way, they just beat Cameroon. It's crazy.
Fans running onto the field there.
And then we beat Vietnam, a resounding 4-0 victory over Vietnam. And in the recent camp, it was 2 victories as well against Singapore and Palestine. Before we dig deep into the actual matter, can we just get a general thought of your tenure so far? Because after 5 games, it's 4 victories, 1 draw, and only 2 conceded, and plenty of goals as well, Coach.
It's been a ride, that's for sure. Starting point to where we are, there's been progress, and something I'm proud of is our football continues to build and evolve, and we've got more to improve on. Stay humble, keep working hard, and we've had some tough games that continue to challenge us. Take the positives from it, take areas that we need to develop more, and keep challenging ourselves to be the best we can be. And that's our daily motto, be the best we can be, and get better every day. So, really pleased with the body of work we've started, and we've got more to do.
Coach, what do you think about the tools that you have in your disposal right now, your coaching staff, your players? What's your feedback so far after about 5 to 6 months being here?
Internally, the national team's building towards world-class environment. And we've got more to improve, grow, evolve. We'll never stop pushing for that improvement as a national team, and that's internally, that's inside. Coaching staff are excellent. Areas to improve off the field we'll continue to chase, which impacts importantly into the players. And players on and off the field, we know we can keep getting better, and we're motivated to do that. And the biggest reason why is to make an impact for Malaysian football and do something special for the nation, which I know millions and millions of people are supporting us toward and hoping for us to do that as well. So we feel that obligation to them as a national team, that every time the national team play, I hope everybody wants to turn on the TV and watch our football, give them something to look forward to, give them something to be inspired about, give kids something to dream of to become Harimau Malaya players. This is the best vehicle to progress Malaysian football, and that's our responsibility. I keep talking to players about that, is don't take the game for granted. Every time we put on that jersey, it's going to mean something, not only for yourself and your family, but the millions watching. And we take that in our heart, and we keep trying to keep improving our game.
Is that why in your post-match interview against Singapore, because I was doing the game here, you keep on, I think twice, you mentioned a thing about inspiring the nation. Is that the reason why? Is that the reason behind it?
Without a doubt, because it's the strongest vehicle, I think, Malaysian football, we can get progress in Malaysian football, because obviously there's a little bit of chaos around Malaysian football with the federation and things like that. But we control our environment. We want to look after our national team for the people. And football is the people's game. And Harimau Malaya national team is the people's team. So we take a responsibility every time we're in camp, training, playing, that we use that as a vehicle to inspire the nation, make them proud, and every time we play, bring a smile to their face and a sense of pride as well.
I think the easy thing in the current environment, based on what you said as well, the easy thing for us to perhaps do on Bola to Life would be to just ask you about the controversies, to be ask you about the populist situations that's happening within the country's football scenario, and then get sound bites out of you that are just going to go viral. But honestly, Coach, we have absolutely no interest in that. What we want to do is to have a genuine football conversation with you, to get a clearer understanding of the game that's played on the pitch, because I think there is a genuine interest from fans, Malaysian football fans, to try and understand the current composition, the current setup. There's one thing that we do, which is something we mentioned in our intro. At the end of every international window, we have a segment on our show that we call it the report card segment. And the reason we call it that is because every single Malaysian went through the environment of having your parents come to school. And it's always
sometimes
this,
it's good for them and sometimes it's traumatic for them. You can understand
more
that.
often than not traumatizing. More often than not traumatizing, because
I can imagine.
you got to get your teacher to grade your performance throughout a semester or a half a year in front of your parents. So what we usually do with that is we have a bit of fun with it. We try and grade national team performances in Southeast Asia. So today, the Card Laporan segment, the report card segment, we want to do it with you. And usually we discuss first and then we grade it at the end. But I want to get, perhaps maybe we can attempt to grade it first and then we sort of dig into how it happens, the game that happens. So how would you grade, Coach, in terms of the national team's performance at the recent camp? Overall. It doesn't just involve victories, it's also performance, training, everything. How would you grade it?
It's along the analogy of a report card, I wouldn't be a great example to lead such a segment, because I send my wife into those meetings at school, so I'm not sure how the format is, but I'm always striving for improvement. And from the day we started to now, it's a constant build of our football. And if we narrow down to this camp, September 1 is day one, and we play Singapore September 4 and Palestine September 8. So we've got 2 games, and very good games for us in different ways, in a short turnaround, which was really good for us to challenge our process, to challenge our operations, relocating mid-camp to a different location. It's a bit of a simulation for October. So there's many ways we can sort of dissect this, but overall I'd say, again, we've taken another step forward from June, which was important. And so we keep building those layers and those steps, and that means progress, and we'll never stop seeking improvement. We know we need to keep getting better, and we stay humble about that, keep working hard, but we're moving in the right direction.
So could we possibly maybe give a grade? What would you feel like? Maybe it's
A minus, B minus, maybe A minus. Would you agree with that?
Maybe B. I mean, I know you have got a lot of high standards and you want the team to keep improving, but realistically, based on our achievements in this camp,
my wife will be laughing at this segment, giving A pluses or A minuses or Bs or maybe else. But. And also, how do you want to dissect it? Because there's many ways and areas to hone in on. I'm not going to give a mark. I can't. But I do know it's a tick. It's a step forward in the right direction. And, we need to keep building our football as well.
Maybe we can give the mark on behalf of Coach. What do you feel, Faiz? Because I think what I like the most about this camp is that, and I'll tell you very honestly, Coach, I think over the last decade or so, there's always sort of been this inferiority complex with the national team when it comes to facing Middle Eastern nations. It's always been a barrier too far sometimes for us. We've had some real difficult encounters against them. We've come up close. One of my favorite national team games ever was in 2019 against UAE at the Bukit Jalil Stadium, when I genuinely thought that night we would win. But then we came up short in the last minute and then we lost the game 2-1.
That was the first time in a long time that we can balance out the Middle Eastern team. And now it looks like the gap has been,
Yeah. And
not
this
there
victory
anymore.
against Palestine was our first in 24 years, which is a pretty seismic result, if you ask me. So all things considered,
That's an impressive stat, by the way. You've nailed that one.
all things considered, for me, I mean, also because we have our national team coach here whose standards are high, I'm going to give an A-.
A- from me too. Maybe it can be an A if there are goals added in the Singapore game, but A from us, not from Coach Peter, but he refused to give a mark. But it's a fair assessment, Coach. Coach, you just mentioned just now, it's a simulation for the next international break that you change your base mid-international break, right?
Yeah.
Mid-camp.
Yeah.
Is that something that you intentionally think about, or?
Yeah, a little bit. It was a good way, just again, to be located in KL and then generate a little bit of operational stimulation, logistics, change of environment, short turnaround, which was a little bit a benefit of.
How did the players react?
Yeah, good. I mean, and it's not we did that in May as well, but it's just. We just need to keep turning the engine over and making sure all parts of the operation is well tuned. And this was another way to keep fine tuning us for an important 2 games in October, no doubt.
That's a fascinating perspective. The picking up camp and moving camp. I don't think a lot of us think about the logistical situation, but also attempting to create a home base, a home environment in 2 separate locations. It can be a little challenging at times. But I suppose maybe we can start by talking about the first game.
Yeah.
Let's talk
Singapore
about the game against Singapore, Coach. This was a game against our Causeway rivals at the Bukit Jalil Stadium. Our Causeway rivals who are going through a bit of a transition at the moment. Let's start by perhaps asking the question that a lot of fans were super curious about before the game and got genuinely excited about as the game went on as well. Stuart Wilkin as the right wing back. Because I thought that was a really enjoyable position to watch him play in. And he's sort of I had a friend of ours, Chun Hang, who kept mentioning that Stuart has this box crashing tendencies that allows him to penetrate the box from wide positions. What was your thinking around that decision?
That for sure, and his deliveries are very good from wide areas as well. So there's an attacking threat in that decision, let's say. I'd love you to talk to Stu midway through the game, 30 minutes in, because it's a lung buster of a position, which is a little bit foreign to him. That's the first time he's played there. But physically, he did really well for the minutes he played. The data that we've got from the game tells us that he can play that position at a high level, which is great because that's, again, a great outcome for us. He performed well. Again, first time he's played in that position, so he's getting a feel for that during the game as well. Proud of him. He did really well, took on the challenge, and it's just another little addition to growing a team environment, a team mentality that we're trying to build.
When we received the team news and team selection, I remember we were here in the studio. I thought Arif Aiman would play that role because it is not foreign to him. He played there in the ACL even, in the full season of 2023 season. And if it's not right wing back, the position that he is most associated with is right winger or maybe up top. But then you put Arif Aiman in a sort of free role in the middle, kind of in the middle position. Is that an experiment, or do you see that's where Arif Aiman will play in the long term?
Yeah, Arif has got multiple weapons as a player.
Right? We're all aware of that.
What a player. And we try to utilise those weapons in our team structure. He can definitely play as a wing back, let's say. Obviously does with JDT many times. So we know that he can do that. And I can see ways we can evolve our football as a team. Arif's super young player with what I think's just got so much potential. And we'll squeeze every little bit out of him when he's with us in our environment to get him at his best and excite the nation the way he plays.
I want to get your thoughts also, Coach, on the setup. I think right now the 3-5-2 or 3-4-3 formation is a bit of a trending thing right now. Not trending as in a lot of teams are using it, but it's trending because obviously, one of the biggest teams on the planet, Manchester United, are using it. Some teams do really well with it. Some teams seem to struggle with it.
Yeah.
But it's a very fascinating formation. And I want to get your understanding, Coach, from a coaching point of view. What are the potential upsides to a setup like that? I mean, it doesn't have to be exclusively to Malaysia, but generally speaking, a setup like that, what are the potential upsides?
Yeah, and on that, if you ask me, if you look at my career, I'm 4-3-3 all the way through.
Yeah,
which is one of the things we were talking about as well. Yeah.
So it's also, it's not what's important for me, it's what's important to get the best out of the team and what's going to suit the players to play some really good football. So we're building our football in the 3-4-3 model. The foundations of our football will remain the same even if we go to a back four at times, for example. And there's ways that we've got, I've actually just finished the analysis with the coaches this morning, and we've got ways that we can keep improving this game, which excites me. And that means more growth for the team, more growth for players, create more chances, score more goals, and get more players into the box and keep dominating teams, or try to dominate teams as much as we can.
Can you tell us the workflow between you and your coaching staff?
Yeah.
Do you guys have a list of players that you guys want to call up first, and then you see the opponent and you decide on a tactical decision, or you just have a tactical decision first, and whoever being called up will fit into this tactical decision? Which one comes first? What's your workflow?
First and foremost, it's about our football. It's about what football we want to play for the country. The premise on that is how can we excite our fans?
Okay.
How can we get everybody looking forward to watching us play? How can we create moments that people can talk about? And that's all walks of life. That's the elderly generation, media,
the kids.
That's the premise of it. And within that, we have the Malaysian Super League, and we watch every game. We have a long list of players, and that forever keeps getting updated. Ins, outs. Closer to camp, I narrowed down to a smaller list, short list, let's call it, and then from there move towards final selection. Coaching staff are involved heavily with that, watching training, we watch games, whether that be live or online, and then from there, get to that final decision, with the view of what's our opponents doing, where's their strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, how are we going to beat them? And the premise is we beat them with our football. We've got to keep getting our football right, keep getting our football stronger, with the ball, without the ball, set plays, everything, and keep building towards the dream, the team we dream to be.
I quite love that. I think sometimes we've been for far too long guilty of being a reactive nation, which means we set up purely depending on how or who the opponent is, right? And it feels refreshing to, for once, be in a state where we're the proactive one, regardless of who comes. Obviously, there will be tweaks, as you mentioned, tweaks and adjustments to fit the opposition. But first and foremost, the foundation of how we want to play is set first. And I think that's such a refreshing thing. In the aftermath of the Singapore game, Coach, me and him recorded a very candid conversation, just sort of talking about what we liked about the game and what we perhaps thought could improve a little bit. But one of the things we liked, first we talked about the Stuart Wilkin experiment. We thought it was refreshing and quite enjoyable to watch him in that position. But the other thing, and this isn't just exclusive to the Singapore game, but once again it was very clear there. But what a player Facundo Garces is. It sometimes blows my mind that just on the Saturday I was watching him on the telly go up against Atletico Madrid, and 4 days later he's in front of me at the Bukit Jalil Stadium putting on a real resolute defensive performance. He's a monster of a defender.
That's a fair way to describe him, and a passionate Malaysian. Early this morning he messaged some of the staff just talking about the camp, and as he's preparing for his next game with his club, and he can't wait to come back in October, and he's proud to represent Malaysia. He's connected to the country in a way that gives him really special feeling to play, like all the players, not, you know, and that's everybody in the squad. But yeah, the sense of pride that he has to represent Malaysia is it's inspiring to watch, and it's a nice feeling.
What do you think, from an individual point of view, from an attribute point of view, what do you like the most about him?
Yes.
Everything. He's, from a defensive point of view, tall, big, strong, fast. It's good characteristics to have as a defender. With the ball, calm, controlled, clean touches, good passing range, good ball speed. They're great boxes to tick in the attacking sense as well. And then you go in terms of mentality and professionalism, and he's a great example for the group, playing at the highest level in clubland. And it shows the way he turns up, prepares himself, operates on the field, in the game, training, and off the field. And that's a really good example for us and all of the group to follow. And he, you know, I always say 11 captains on the pitch. Well, there's 30 captains in camp. You know, everyone shows their leadership by the way we act, behave on and off the field. And that's another attribute that he's got well and truly, and yeah, a leader for our team.
Looks like he's got a good attitude about him also, Coach.
Yeah.
And another player that we talk about in our reaction after the Singapore game was Noah Lane.
Yep.
Noah he was honoured with the captain armband in a game versus Palestine, and I think for a coach that tries to set a high standard there, that is such a big honour for him. And what made you go with that decision, Coach?
Yeah, well, I think firstly an honour to play for your country anytime, and then a remarkable honour to be the captain officially for the country, for sure. And he took it well. He led the team well. Again, on and off the field with his actions and mentality, which I love. Again, I might have to check this, but I'm pretty sure he's the only player that's played every minute of the games. I'm not sure.
Under you?
Yeah, for my time. I'm not.
That could be true, actually.
Yeah, I need to check that, but I was just thinking about that. And so within that, there's stability that he provides, a calmness that he provides, an understanding of our football that he provides and believes in. And he did a really good job as a leader, young player. But again, like I say, I really believe in 11 captains on the pitch. You know, and that's whoever plays. And that's the mentality we want to build and strive for that team mentality. And a moment ago, we were talking about Faku leading the team with his actions on and off the field and the way he plays. Well, and we'll get to the game, and the Palestine game soon, but Badak stepped in and showed his leadership in his performance against Palestine, as did Harif, Hakel and Dom Tan, who played the first half. So it's inspiring to watch this team grow, build and evolve.
I mean, you're right to say that in a minute we'll get to the Palestine conversation. I was having a look at some of the numbers from the Singapore game, and I mean, to be fair, it's becoming a pattern with Noah. I think Malaysian fans who watch him with Selangor as well see a similar pattern, especially when they go up against the bigger boys. I remember watching Selangor's game against Buriram in the Shopee Cup.
He was a unit in that game.
He was running everywhere in that game. He is, the sort of buzzword that I think when I try to describe Noah Lane in my head to myself is that I call him a ground eater. He's just eating up so much ground, covering so much space. And he's sort of like a duel winning machine as well. I think in the Singapore game, he won the most amount of ground duels for Malaysia according to Y-Scouts data.
He rarely switched off though.
And I've met him before, Coach, a few times, had a conversation with him. He's got that Scandinavian thing about himself where he's just left cool, doesn't raise his voice much, and it feels like he's bringing that to the way he plays on the field as well.
Yeah, fair point. And again, I just, that concentration that you mentioned is a key part to us as a team, to stay connected to the game, the way we want to play, and that's with the ball and without the ball. And Noah in particular, you know, when we first camp in March, you know, he took a few bits of feedback from our environment in terms of the way he can improve his game, and again that's on and off the field, and then to see him in phase one last camp in late May, preparing for the Vietnam game, and see him continue to evolve his game. Even to this camp, he continues to grow and evolve, and that's his ability to receive in tight areas, to receive it and go forward. And you mentioned his physicality around movement. I think he's taken massive steps forward since March in every camp I've seen, and that's the way he's looking after himself off the field, because you can see it in his body, you can see it with his skin folds that the high performance team look after. The way he looks, the way he eats, the way the way he trains, everything. And for me, that gives me a sign that he's coachable, because he's taking information, chewing it up, and it's making him better. And he can see it, he feels it, and he believes in it. And I think, to be fair, I think a lot of players in the squad are feeling like that, which is a positive step.
I love that word, coachable. I love that word. The ability to just eat up information and just apply it to yourself. I want to talk a little bit about that Singapore game in the second half, especially, Coach. If I compare your post-match interviews after the Singapore game and after the Palestinian game, you could see a clear difference in body language. I think after the Palestinian game, I think you were genuinely proud and happy with what the players accomplished on the pitch. But I could sense a bit of frustration in the aftermath of the Singapore game. And I think that frustration was not exclusive to you. I think it was echoed amongst the Malaysian fans at the stadium and at home, because our standards have climbed so much in the last 3 to 4 months that there is an expectation that we come out of games like that with a bigger margin. But what did you make of the second half struggle at times, and the fact that we conceded, terrific goal, but the fact that we still conceded in that game?
Yeah, it's a good point that you've made, because I wasn't... there was many positives to take from the game, but there was ways that we can improve the game. So I'm sort of sitting on that post-match, and I think you can always get honesty from me when I speak to the media. So post-match, I just thought we weren't great, weren't at our best, and that's disappointing, right? The players, you mentioned you guys or the fans, well, the players would have felt the same as well, and that's just a really good sign, because that's the standards we want to create. Now, we're not going to be perfect, and I'm not going to sit here and criticise players, right, or the team, because we're trying to do our best, right? And we're all human, so mistakes happen and things like that. But the intent to be at our best was there, and we just were slightly off. And again, having said that, we still created so many chances. And could have scored 4 or 5 or 6 goals.
Even first half in itself.
So again, that's really positive. But that's an honest sign of what we're trying to achieve, and to continue to improve. And that's, I think, my feelings post Singapore. And then again, we'll talk about Palestine, but maybe that's the difference in the 2 interviews that you mentioned, because the growth that I saw post Singapore, because those little moments where you can be better and got areas to improve, the growth that I saw in training, in preparation, and in the match against Palestine is what a coach dreams of, and it's the progress we needed. We got it. We can tick many boxes from the camp, and it's, like I said, another good camp where we move in the right direction.
In between the game against Singapore and against Palestine, we went to the internet and tried to see the discourse in between Malaysian football fans about the game at the time, and many have praised about the way the team looks and about the way the team beat Singapore at the time, and many also have voiced their frustration, especially on the second half that you said just now. For the selection of the team against Singapore and against Palestine, do you select them purely on that FIFA match day or that match, or do you have like one eye towards the games against Laos already? Because that's where it matters the most. I'm not saying that these games don't matter. This game does matter, especially in terms of FIFA ranking for Malaysian national team.
Yeah.
But do you have one eye towards that?
Of course. It was a balance of all of that. And that was looking at things in training, testing a few things out in the game, ultimately focused on us and the next game. That's the most important. So Singapore was the most important game at that time.
Okay.
Turn the page, learn from what we need to get better, keep reinforcing the good stuff. Palestine is then the next important game. But of course, I have things on my mind, working on things to get a picture on what October might look like, could look like, connected to how we can keep developing our team and getting 6 points against Laos.
I think just one final question, Coach, on the Singapore game before we move on to the Palestinian game. One of the other individuals that stood out for us in the game against Singapore, I mean, when you have that sort of that 3-4-3 system, you've got the two inside number 10s who becomes so pivotal to creating chances, to acting as a bridge between the midfielders and the lone forward up front. Endrick, I mean, he was... Some of the passes that he was playing in that game, he's just one of those guys who... maybe you would know this so much better because you work closer with him, but from the outside looking, sometimes it feels like he's got the mind of a goldfish, because if he plays a risky pass and it doesn't go through, he would not hesitate to make a similar attempt just moments later. You know, sometimes you see certain players where they try something risky and it doesn't work out. For the next 5 minutes,
Then
they tend to play it safe. Understandably, because you don't want to make mistakes. But Endrick seems to just keep trying to make those risky passes.
Yeah, and that's what we encourage as in our game. You know, to be brave, go forward, be as exciting as we can as a team. And not worry or get fixated on mistakes. If we make a mistake, we know what we need to do as a team. So, you see that flair in I hope everyone's game continue to grow with no limitations, you know, complete freedom to play our football, play what you see. And, you know, again, a great ball to play in Stu for the first goal. Creative pass, great ball into space. You know, again, comes from team discipline. Second goal, he plays the ball that, he receives it in really good space, receives it and goes forward, plays a great ball to Stu, who's out wide, making wide penetration with a beautiful delivery, with a one-touch finish, and goals by design. It continues to happen.
Let's maybe now bring the conversation to the game against Palestine. And on purpose, Coach, on purpose, I did not mention anything about João Figueiredo from the Singapore game, even though he got a goal in that game, because I wanted to mention and talk about him in the context of both games, including the game against Palestine. Because by scoring the goal very early on against Palestine, João Figueiredo officially put himself into a very exclusive group of Malaysian players. He is now only one of 3 Malaysian players to have scored in 3 consecutive games since their debut.
Wow.
So the first is Mokhtar Dahari, who is arguably the greatest who've ever played for this country.
The second one is
the second one is our Pandit, actually, Nizaruddin Yusof, former striker in the 2000s, who also did score in his first 3 games. And now it's João Figueiredo. We have watched him very closely, more than some of the other players who recently just joined the national team, because he also plays in the domestic league and for JDT, and he is such an exciting striker. And it's not just, and I'll tell you very frankly, Coach, having been at the stadium and watched him a couple of times now, I'll tell you what fans love the most about him. It's not just the goals, because I think goals can come from everywhere. It's the fact that he is just constantly running and closing down players, and he's just moving about. And I think that's the sort of work ethic that resonates very well with the average Malaysian out there who's watching the national team looking for inspiration.
Yeah, and spot on. He has that in abundance. That's the team mentality that we want everybody to have. So he shows a great example to follow. Again, another way to show leadership on the pitch. He's got the quality to, to hurt teams. He's got that team mentality to work for the team, which is really important to us. Because again, although he's got the individual quality, and so does Adif, and so do many others, we don't rely on that individual quality. We rely on that individual quality to come in as a team. And then from that point, 11 players doing that, we show even more individual quality from a team aspect. And you're seeing that with Figo at the moment.
Yeah, and another player that we didn't mention in our discussion against Singapore just now, purposely, because I think Malaysians are quite surprised to see him in the starting lineup. It was Nazmi Faiz Mansour. I posted on my thread profile, coach, that this is the best. I mean, the games against Palestine in the first half, that was the best Nazmi performance I've seen in a long time. Partly because he does not seem to play every week for his club. Understandably so, because the competition in JDT is so tight. And he started a little bit slowly against Singapore too. Maybe he's a little bit rusty there. But all it took for him was the games against Singapore to display his quality in the games against Palestine, coach.
Fair point. And he did outstandingly well in Palestine match. Singapore, you bring up a good point. Was it a little bit rusty? Let's say match rhythm, missing a little bit of match rhythm, potentially so, because maybe not enough minutes. Let's say that would be ideal for him, preparation-wise. But again, there's another case where Cape Verde, he was outstanding for us against Cape Verde in the 1-1 draw. So I believe in him, like I do with everybody. And I keep saying, no matter who plays, team performance counts, and he's connected to that. And connecting to the team shows your individual quality, and you saw that in a strong performance against Palestine.
Is that why you still calling him up to the team, despite maybe not many minutes as other midfielders in the country, because of his quality and his ability to gel with the team? Yes,
definitely. And his attributes, his characteristics, his mentality is connected to the team, and that's again a strong aspect I see in his game as well.
I want to ask you more about what do you like about his style of play. Nazmi Faiz is very closely connected to the modern generation of fans in Malaysia, partly because there is an entire generation of fan that was born around the 2009 to 2011 period, where we won 2 SEA Games gold medals, where we won the Suzuki Cup, and the social media boom happened at that point. So there's a whole generation of Malaysian fans that was born out of that era.
Then he made his debut at
and
17.
He made his debut at the age of 17 and scored a blistering goal for the under-23s against Bahrain, a goal that's still talked about till today. So he's in a unique sense, it almost feels like for the longest time he's always been a national team darling or a Malaysian football fan darling. And from your point of view, you work with him closely. What do you think are his best attributes as a midfielder?
I love when he's on the ball, and I love when he's looking to get on the ball and touch the ball as much as he can, and then that's connected to the team, and we try and get that little bit of central combination, play that little bit of a central overload, and then get penetration from our ways to get in behind them. So I love the way he gets into little spaces and tries to connect us to keep our game going. And then you saw it against Palestine, and he did everything he could against Singapore as well, but the mentality to work hard for the team is another example of 11 players doing a team performance.
That first half against Palestine, coach, 7 shots Malaysia had, Palestine had 1. That was probably, in my opinion, the most dominant Malaysian performance against a Middle Eastern nation that I've watched in a very long while. What did you make of that first half? And maybe a different way to ask this question would be, if out of these 4 games, out of the 2 games, if you split the games into 4 halves, you've got the first 2 halves, first half against Singapore and Palestine, second half against Singapore and Palestine. Which half do you think was the closest indication of us at our best as a
well,
footballer?
I would say Palestine first half was excellent. That was the football we want to try and produce.
What about it, Coach?
And I'll just connect back to the Singapore game when you say I was disappointed after the game. You saw the growth from Singapore game into the first half, the growth of our football, the belief in our football. And what I liked about the game against Palestine in the first half was the areas we got the ball into. They got a little bit confused with our play. We got into really dangerous areas to then penetrate and create some good chances. Now, having said that, I think we probably had more chances against Singapore. That's like a positive, because I think our attack's very threatening the way we want to play. But overall, it was against Palestine. We were dominant. A great goal early to start the game. Great mentality to start the game well. A goal by design again.
Yeah.
And you keep doing that, and sometimes teams can't stop it. So within that, we're talking about the attack, and then the second half against Palestine is probably an area that you lose a few things with the ball, but they didn't hurt us defensively. So we kind of controlled the game without the ball, let's say. Sometimes against good teams, you're going to have to do that. We take positives from that, and we work out how we can continue to just keep growing our game to get more of that first half against Palestine and get it for longer periods.
Coach, back to your selection against Palestine. Now, in the game against Singapore, I asked my pundits, and there's a big statement there. We were saying that the back three that you fielded that day, consisting of Irazabal, the captain Dion Koos, and Facundo Garces. These could be the three, the pillars of national team defensively for years to come, due to their ability, their status, and maybe their age, right? And you wiped that out completely with a new set of back three against Palestine. Dominic Tan, Syarul Saad, Badak, and Harith Haikal. But there doesn't seem to be any big
major
difference,
change,
major change in terms
the
of quality there.
I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that, and that's I just don't say that. That no matter who plays, we play our football. Whoever plays on the pitch knows what to do. I say Badak, Harith Haikal, and Dom Tan in that first half. I'm so proud of their performance. Connected to our football, really powerful way, and connected to the team performance. So I'm so proud of that, because it doesn't matter who plays. Everyone's ready to do their job for the national team. You talk about the Singapore back three. Let's say John, Facundo, and Dion. Well, that's something I wanted to look at. We talked about Stu Wilkin as a wing back. I wanted to look at those that back three together. That might be something that we line up for against Laos. Matt Davies is injured at the moment. So, again, just little ways to keep experimenting and also challenging ourselves a little bit to keep growing our football and making sure no matter who plays, we put our stamp on the game. And we probably tested ourselves against Palestine in a way as well, where Dom Tan came off at half time. And we put Corbin, who's trained in that position and hasn't played there as much. And he's, again, another way to test out our game, test out our game, test out a team performance against a very good team. So I'll continue to look to challenge us and keep evolving, because that's the best way to grow.
Would you say that by then, by you doing this, you have trust in our squad depth right now?
Yeah, I believe in every player that I'm working with. I believe in every player that I call into camp. They're into camp because I believe in them. They're in camp because I know I can get the best out of them, and they have something to give to the nation. And that will continue.
It's incredible, really, to talk about the squad depth and the different variety of options we have. I mean, we'll get to the wing-back position in just a minute, because there was another phenomenal performance from one of the most informed wing-backs in Malaysian football right now. But just an additional question on Badak Sharul Saad. I've got a soft spot for him because he used to play for Perak. It's my team. He was our poster boy for the longest time. Part of the team that won the Malaysia Cup in 2018. He was up against a striker that became global attention during the Club World Cup. You know, scored a hat-trick against Porto, recently got a big move as a designated player in the Major League Soccer.
You know, the celebration.
Iconic celebration. A guy with his own story of his own as well, Wessam Abu Ali. And bar a couple of free kicks, bar maybe a few half chances, I thought the back three kept him shut for a vast majority of the game.
And there's a challenge in itself because he's a great player. And they're a tough team to, you know, they're a top 100 team. They were a minute away from being in the next stage of the World Cup qualifiers. They will be at the Asian Cup. This is a type of team that if we can get to the Asian Cup, this is the type of team that we'll be up against in a group stage. So really good challenge for us. Great player, and Badak and Harif and Dom in the first half looked after him well, played our football, made them work, like I said, proud of the team performance to connect to that.
Quintin Cheng. We've got to talk about Quintin Cheng. Coach.
The elephant in the room.
Because this year, I think one of the most impressive performances in the Liga Super so far. I mean, even if no one has watched any of the games, but even if you just look at the charts in terms of crosses, in terms of the amount of assists he has clocked, he has been at the heart of so many positive things involving Selangor. Really getting in good balls into the box. Against Palestine, he was given an opportunity in the starting 11 by you, and it didn't take him long to immediately make an impact in the game. And there were actually a couple more occasions where his crosses could have almost created goal number 2 or 3 for Malaysia. And considering the wing-back position is pretty stacked right now for Malaysia, you've got Dion Cools, is world-class in that position. Stuart Wilkin gave a fantastic account of himself in the game against Singapore. And then you've also got Quintin Cheng, who is also performing at a really, really high level at the minute.
It's a nice problem to have as a head coach. He did really well against Palestine. Quintin, was impressive in that first half. He was effective, efficient, dangerous, really, really good first half. Strong second half. Obviously, subbed towards the end of the game. And he's got areas to grow more, you know. For a wing back, he's got a lot of characteristics that suit our game, and we'll be pushing him in camp and out of camp to just keep pushing his game physically to a world-class level, and you know that'll just add even more to his game.
I remember speaking to Lim Chan Yu, our colleague, a former Malaysian player who used to coach with Selangor as well. And I remember him saying that very recently. He said that when Quintin first arrived in Malaysia, it was very clear that he could really cross the ball. He had a fantastic cross on him.
That's his strength.
It was a real big strength. But at that point, he still needed to grow and develop other aspects. To him, watching Quintin now, he feels that one of Quintin's biggest strengths is just his ability to find space on that wide area, get into those positions, be the furthest man forward sometimes. You know, and do you think that's just such a strong part of his game right now? Yeah,
definitely, and it connects to our football we want to play. And I thought against Palestine, our right side was a real threat. You know, Harif Haikal on the right side of the back three, Noah, Arif, you know, sort of connected into that central area, picking up really good spaces, and then Quintin and his timing of runs and ability to try and combine to get in behind was a real threat. Scored a good goal from it and created a couple of good chances to get the second and third, which would have been fantastic for us. It would have been deserved, and that's a credit to and all credit goes to the players for that.
I think last one about Quintin, he got his breakthrough, I think, during 2022 season
Penang.
in Penang, and that's where his strength, that is his crosses, comes into play, and Malaysian football fans take notice of that. But that does not translate necessarily well to the national team setup by the coaches before, or maybe the environment before. What do you think? Why do you think now he can translate his club performance to the national team?
Good question, because I don't think about the past or look at the past, but I think what's important for us is our environment, our culture in the national team, and we're pushing for world-class standards off the field. The way we look after the players, the way we treat the players, the way we connect with the players, educate the players, let's say, respectfully about what we want them to do. Players are embracing that, and it's becoming a really good ambience and an atmosphere around developing each other. So connected to that comes growth.
Maybe they were waiting for that, coach. Maybe they were waiting for this environment to come. That's why they embrace it.
I'm not sure, because I don't want to get connected to the past, right? And I respect the past, but all I can say is what we want to stamp on. What's important for me as head coach of Harimau Malaya, and what is important for us as a national team every day. That's all the staff, all the players. That's our little hub. And that little energy that we have in hub, family environment, committed to each other, respect each other, be the inspiration for the nation, that's the source of motivation for us. And I want to make sure we stay humble. We're doing things in the right direction, but I know we've got more potential and more work to do as well.
Just to summarize things, Coach, I mean, when you first took on the job at the start of the year, did you at any point expect that 9 months or 8 months into the job that you would have won 4, drawn 1 record, countless goals scored, decent number of goals scored, only 2 conceded, and a genuine sense of progression? Did you expect this to come as naturally as it has? Or has it exceeded your expectations?
No, I don't think about it like that. But when you say that, it might give me a time to reflect on it and go, yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. But I haven't thought about it like that. I keep it really simple and really clear in my head around the daily mentality. And maybe people one day might get sick of me talking about it, but trust me, I will never change, because the solutions to problems come from that, and so do the rewards. So like I said, it's some good things building. We've got more work to do, but the mentality to get better every day will never change.
I mean, tweaking his question a little bit, did you foresee at that point, when you first came here, that after 9 months, you get the trust of the nation to continue to lead this very important project in Malaysia?
Good question. I mean, when I took over, the country was in turmoil, let's say. There was a toxic sort of environment from a national team perspective that I was aware of and didn't understand truly why. But now that I'm here, I do understand it, I do see it. And it's what I said earlier on, the best way for us to help Malaysian football as a national team is to play some good football, get people talking about football. If football becomes the essence of everything we do, then Malaysian culture, the Malaysian passion for football is there, it exists. We need to ignite that and stick together on that, and base everything we do on football, not political agenda or agenda-based things to hold the game back. It's really, our vehicle is football. Our way that we can inspire the nation is by what we do on and off the pitch, and that's our responsibility, that's our honour, that's our privilege, that's our motivation as well.
I remember on the sidelines after the Malaysia victory over Vietnam at the Bukit Jalil Stadium, when we spoke to you alongside some of the pundits, and I remember you at that point saying very publicly and vocally that Malaysia is divided right now in terms of its football. But it also felt in the bigger picture that night in Bukit Jalil, that 4-0 victory over Vietnam, our first in so many years, right? it felt like a major turning point in the way that the public perceived the project.
Yeah.
It felt like thinks something shifted that night.
Yeah.
And it felt like it has grown strength by strength since then. And it's a trajectory that has been very apparent in this camp as well after the 2 wins. What would your message be in the current context? At that point you said it was divided, but it feels like the community is now turning its head towards the project. The buy-in is a lot more apparent. And in the build-up to the 2 big games coming up in Laos, what would your message to the nation and its fans be?
The message to the nation and the supporters is get behind the players. Get behind the team, the Harimau Malaya national team. Undevotedly, let's just get behind the country and push this game forward. Because what I spoke about after the game against Vietnam, that stuff, I still see it. I still see it. It still exists in front of me. I want to knock that down, and the best way is to grow our football, grow our team, focus on football, and if everybody in the football ecosystem focus on football and not themselves, the game will grow. The game will move in the right direction. So to all the supporters, all the fans, get behind the players. They want to make you proud every time we play, and we're pushing to play the best football we can to get you off your chairs and put a smile on your face.
Coach,
Perfect.
We didn't get to do this the first time around you came to the show. Now that you came for the second time, we are proud to call you Peter Cklamovski, Friends of Bola Itu Life. And for that, we need you to put your signature
on the match ball.
On the match ball
Malaysian
for
national
Harimau
team
Malaya.
match ball.
Tahara Masala.
Yeah, he's getting there, there.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Welcome to Bola Itu Life fraternity.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for taking the time to be
you,
here,
Coach.
Coach.
Thank
we
you very
genuinely
much.
appreciate you spending some time to talk about the national team in depth.
Sama-sama.
We're looking forward to the October camp. Hopefully there is a maximum points out of those 2 games as well. And then we've got the big ones next year. I think the one that me and Faiz are really, really excited about, we are already thinking about planning a trip there, is the one Vietnam away from home. I've had countless, and I'm not even joking, Coach, I've had countless depressing trips to Hanoi in my life because we've always gone there and we've always left having lost the game.
Really?
And I'm looking forward to for once, going to Hanoi, enjoying a victory and coming back. So that's the one we're really excited about.
We'll do everything we can to do that. But I'll go back to the cliche. We'll get the next game right and focus on October 1st.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Coach. Thank you so much for taking the time to be on Bola Itu Life. The great Coach Peter Cklamovski didn't give a grade. He gave the analysis. We gave the grade A-. Pandangan korang pula. Grade apa yang korang nak bagi kepada skuad kebangsaan?
Grade kita di international break yang lalu.
International break lalu kita bagi B something.
B plus or
B plus or B minus.
Tapi A- for Harimau Malaya.
Kali ini pandangan korang kongsi dekat ruang komen. Itu adalah kad laporan full 1 jam. Korang minta, kami dah bagi bersama dengan Coach Peter Cklamovski. Jumpa anda dalam episod seterusnya.
Thank you very much, Coach.
On behalf of our Premier League team that are in the UK at the moment to cover the upcoming Premier League games, we've got a big news. Ange Postecoglou has now been hired to replace Nuno Espirito Santo at Nottingham Forest. What do you make of that appointment?
Yeah, I'm excited to see Ange back in the Premier League. It's where he belongs. He had itchy feet to get back into the Premier League, so he waited patiently for an opportunity that presented. And he'll take it with both hands. I think Nottingham Forest will be an interesting ride for us all to cheer on and watch from afar, and looking forward to their next game against Arsenal.
It's quite special, isn't it, that Ange, for all the journey that he's gone through as a football manager, now finds himself in charge of one of the most historic football clubs in the history of the game, in the form of Forest.
Yeah, I think he's born for it, you know. Celtic was another big brand that he took over, right? So, great opportunity for Ange at a great club with good expectations. He's gone there not just to have a job and work at a great club or a historic club. He's gone there to make an impact, and he'll go there and try and win a trophy in his first season.
Coach, we would say that he had a pretty mixed times in Spurs, a lot of instability, a lot of good times, and before he capped it all off with a Europa League trophy for them, the first trophy for them in a long, long time. What do you think that he can do maybe a little bit differently now for Nottingham Forest?
Yeah, that's a good one to watch and observe. It's going to have similar traits because they're in the Europa. Obviously, Premier League now, they're sitting 10th, I think, 4 points from 3 games. And he's picking up a team that have performed well last year. I think it was the highest finish in the league last year. So there'll be expectations on him to continue to grow that. But more importantly, there are expectations on himself to do that. But Europa will be part of his season. He'll want to play football that everyone talks about in the Premier League. He might do it a bit differently to what he did at Tottenham, because I think there's a trend that everywhere he goes, there's a little subtle change or variation. And again, reason why, that's the way he thinks, that's the way he innovates the game, that's his source of inspiration for him as a coach. And he'll have a group of players that are a little bit different to what Spurs were and what he was building at Spurs. So it's going to be an interesting chapter and journey, how he does that mid-season without a pre-season, what he does with a few days preparation before the Arsenal game, and can't wait to watch the game.
Maybe he can imagine what is Ange's thinking now. How does he set up his training sessions now? Do you think about that?
Oh yeah, I mean the training mentality or the training methodology, philosophy won't change. He'll go there. It'll be high tempo football. It'll be exciting football, and I dare say it'll be a sense of defensive stability there as well that'll make Nottingham Forest strong, and hopefully they can improve and win the Europa League.
Perfect.
Thank you so much, Coach.
No problem.
Thank you.